Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and love, and welcome to another episode of Catch a Vibe with me, Big Hass. Episode number 26. Yesterday's episode was with Emirati soul singer Elham Al Marzooqi, who was incredible, really. Today's episode is a special one. I just want to say before that, if you missed any episode, it's all on YouTube and also streaming platforms for the audio. When we speak about impact, ladies and gentlemen, I have an old Bedouin saying that I always say in all the episodes so far. الإنسان الذي لا أثر له لا حياة له. A human being with no impact has no life. And my guest today was able to impact in a great way for many reasons. She's actually the UAE's first professional female Emirati cellist, and is also a senior legal counsel. But for me, it's how she was able to make us all love cello, and how she was able to fight and really make a name for herself. I love her passion when it comes to, musicality. She's done a lot of things, and we will try to shed the light on that, get to know her as a human, and also get to know the amazing instrument of cello. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say assalamu alaikum to the amazing Elham Al Marzooqi. We're going to say hello Allah.
Hello Allah. Alaikum assalam.
How are you?
I'm so well. Thank you so much for asking.
This is a huge honor for us.
The honor is mine.
Bless you, bless you. You're incredible. So what I know for a fact is that you and of course, shout out to your mom. You got into music, but you got into piano first.
Yes.
Now I want to know the journey between piano and cello. Why cello? How did cello come to Elham Marzooqi's life?
So, back in the 80s, my mom, she founded Abu Dhabi Music Institute. It was one of the first ones. We're talking about OG here. Okay, so it's one of the first ones. And she really scrimped and saved to be able to set up this institute. She loved music. And it was, growing up, it was a place where we didn't have any other institutes around that area, in Abu Dhabi. So all my friends were, learning music, learning piano. And my mom, she made it a point. She's like, okay, your brother didn't want to learn. Okay, it's going to be you. One of my kids, they're going to have to learn. So it was, I think it was from the age of 5, 6, I can't remember. But it was very, very early on that I started my musical education. So
it was piano.
It was with piano.
Okay.
So, doing the grades, all of those kind of things, doing little concerts, etc. that we put on.
And just to be clear, you love the piano.
I love the piano.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I absolutely adore the piano. It's my first instrument. It's how I learned started my musical education. So without the piano, the cello would have been very, very difficult for me.
Wow.
So, and also when I was at school, you know how it is, like in school you learn the recorder, etc.
Yeah.
All of this. I had the tenor recorder. I had the bigger recorder. And they're like, oh, she knows how to play. Okay, you know what? You stick her in the school orchestra. So it was kind of like all of this was bubbling in my head, I liked being in an orchestra, even though it was kind of school orchestra, but the piano was still in the back, in the forefront.
Correct.
My parents were not conventional in a sense that they wanted me to go to university and study piano. And I was like, I'm not really feeling very confident in that sense. It's not like we had the infrastructure that we have now.
Correct.
Let's say.
Yeah.
So I wasn't very confident. I loved musical theater. Like it was my passion, musical theater, being musical director, all of this, and it was my, so when things were going bad, I like, when you are a teenager, things don't go your way sometimes, and you have all these feelings, etc. Musical theater and music was my solace. Wow. So
it like healed you in a way.
Yes, absolutely. So I just, reverted into that world, So I ended up studying, English and French, and then law, etc., etc. But during that time, I was still, with the piano, dabbling. But then slowly, I thought, the piano is a very solitary instrument. Yes, we have piano concertos. Yes, you can do accompaniments with other people. But I wanted to be part of an orchestra, and I always had you know, people putting out there, you know, the cello this, the cello that, the cello, and it was like, I love the deep tone of it. It's not like a violin. I couldn't handle it. Okay, it was very. For me, it's too high pitched.
Okay.
So with the cello, I'll demonstrate later on. The cello is very, very low.
Correct.
You know, low pitch, and it's the closest you get to a human voice.
Interesting.
So,
what do you remember the first time you laid an eye on the
yeah,
cello?
I laid an eye on the cello. Like I'm talking. Oh, I started late, by the way. I didn't start. You know, the reason why I'm saying that the piano helped my musical education because I was musically fluent. You know, but when I started the cello, it was like in my 20s. I wasn't, you know, spring chicken. Well, I was. I mean, 20s is spring chicken, you know. But when you're talking about, you know, being a professional, etc., you know, you start when you're a kid.
Correct.
I think the piano saved me in that sense. So I started, and then I quickly, you know, very quickly, I realized, oh, you know what? This comes easier to me than other instruments. I joined community orchestras around Dubai. So after work, I would go, and you know, every week I would go and you know, spend a couple of hours and then come back to Abu Dhabi. So you know, the commute, etc., and all of that. And I really loved being part of that community. And then I joined the NSO because they wanted cellists, and that's why we started. You know, we did our Andrea Bocelli performances.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
when she says these things, ladies and gentlemen, like obviously you've done with Andrea Bocelli, I believe you've done with Beyonce as well.
Yes.
You're part of the incredible Firdaus Orchestra.
Yes.
You know, which is put together by the legendary A.R. Rahman. So there's a lot of things. But Elham, when you look back right now, what you said, when you look back at yourself, like, you know, early on. Did you imagine all these things is going to happen?
God, no, absolutely not. I was doing the cello for myself, you know, and being part of, you know, smaller orchestra, and it was literally just for myself. I wasn't thinking of being, oh yeah, I'm the first Emirati, or nothing like that. Nothing.
Does it shock you that you're actually the first professional Emirati cellist?
Yes and no. Okay, cello. It's because it's not very. You know, not really Arabic instrument. Yes, we do have it in Arabic, you know, orchestras. However, they're doing the more Eastern, because you have Western and Eastern style. Okay. So I'm Western trained in, you know, Western school of traditional school, and there is also the Eastern tradition. So, they're different, and also not many cello teachers around.
Correct.
You know, so I took my instructions from in Dubai, and then I was in the UK for a couple of years. So I did that, you know, every week or twice a week, to really hone in on the techniques. And I still go to, you know, and then came back to Abu Dhabi, and I did, you know, my tuition there as well with my professors. And with cello academies abroad,
it must be it must be for me. Just listen to you talk. It's just you're also very passionate. But for people who are listening right now, what is special about the cello?
I think it's not about only the cello. For me, the cello, it's like an extension of the human voice. You know, because of its tone. I just love the way that you're able to. You can produce your feelings, you know. It's like an extension. I'm sure other musicians mention this for their own instruments, okay? But for me as a cellist, okay, my primary goal was being a part of an orchestra. And it's the orchestra that is, like with Firdaus Orchestra, it's incredible, you know. Well, I never would think. I auditioned, I got in, amazing, you know, and I never thought that when I picked up the cello that I would get to this stage. You know? I have an amazing team, and we analyze everything, you know, and it's been an incredible journey.
The way I look at it, Elham, and you know, obviously, officially this is the first time we meet, ladies and gentlemen, and there was there's a sense definitely of respect. There's a lot of discipline. Even I've seen her like off air. There's a lot of discipline, and I love it. It's just really beautiful. So, thank you so much, definitely, for joining us. And obviously, it's past the week right now, but happy Emirati Women's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Bless you. We're going to be taking a break and be right back to talk more about the cello, and maybe we'll hear a little bit, of course. But let's say you're the radio host right now, play any record. I know you're a fan of Queen.
Oh, I love Queen. I love Freddie Mercury. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed. Yeah.
Let's say we're going to play a record for him. What record would that be?
I think this would be apt. Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh, okay. Don't Stop Me Now. So this is Elham Al Marzooqi playing you guys. Don't Stop Me Now. Queen. We're going to be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are with the first professional female Emirati cellist, Elham Al Marzooqi. She's incredible. Definitely go follow her. Keep it locked. Pulse 95 Radio. Catch a vibe.
Catch a vibe with Big Hass, only on Pulse 95. Pulse.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Catch a vibe, a special show, really. I keep saying this, but we've had 26 incredible musicians. Everyone comes from a different background, different type of talent. Today we are with the first professional female Emirati cellist, Elham Al Marzooqi, who every time I get to spend time just getting to know her, I respect her even more. I'm not just saying that. She's defying a lot of things right here. She's playing, the cello, which is maybe an instrument not a lot of you maybe, even know, but she fought for that. She's part of the Firdaus Orchestra, which we were talking about. Obviously, the sense of community. And Elham, shout out to you for all of that. But what does the Firdaus Orchestra mean to you? And we were talking about the sense of community. Tell me more about that, because I love that description for it.
For me, like I said previously, I wanted to be part of an orchestra. And when I heard about Firdaus, it was all part of the, Expo 2020 when, they were set up, etc. However, that got pushed back because of COVID. So, everything stalled. But then auditions started. So I thought, right, let me try. I don't know whether I'll be able to, but let me try. So I auditioned, and it was rigorous. But I got in.
Yeah, but the sense of community that you guys have is beautiful.
It's beautiful because I did not know. Once I went, I was one of the first, who got into Firdaus when we first started in July 2021, and I met an incredible, bunch of women. And it's all women.
It's all women.
It's all women.
Yeah,
and
that deserves a big round of applause. We're having a big round of applause right here in the studio.
And incredible musicians, so talented, so diverse, so versatile, and I am doing this on a part-time basis. So I was allowed to do this on a part-time basis. And the sense of community and the camaraderie, and there's no one-upmanship. Everyone is there helping each other out. My section, shout out to my principal cellist, Vessi. She's amazing.
Shout out.
I love her, and all my lower section, lower strings section.
How many musicians is the
we're expanding.
Okay.
We're expanding. So at the moment I can't tell for sure, but it's like 50 plus.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. We're not small chamber or it's we're getting there. We're getting there. But what is interesting for me is the fact that I'm the only Emirati musician in Firdaus, and it's a professional orchestra. So we do a lot of recordings as well from clients, and obviously we do a lot of now we're with Expo City Dubai. We do a lot of we have a lot of clients who ask for orchestral music, etc. And we do a lot of Bollywood music as well for for example for A.R. Rahman,
of course,
our mentor, and it's incredible. If I was told that 10 years ago, for example, you're going to be part of a professional studio, professional recording artist, professional.
put together by one of the legendary producers out there. Yeah,
that's no, and it's not only that. I was also with we were talking about Ihab Darwish. With
shout out to Ihab Darwish.
Shout out to him. You know, he invited me to be part of the Symphony of Three. That was
iconic.
It was so good. All these amazing musicians. I went to Poland. We went to Krakow. We recorded it. It's incredible.
You know, when you're talking to me like that, I wanted to ask you before we get and I want you to be as honest as possible. I think that we don't highlight this enough. Am I right or wrong?
In what sense?
Meaning, I think something like that needs to be highlighted and amplified more in the media, and generally us talking about it more, because it's something iconic. It's only done it's only highlighted only in specific occasions, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I totally agree with this, because when I was part of it. I was very fortunate to be part of this amazing production, but I wanted, I was literally, posting it everywhere so that people could, listen to this. This is incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel that more people should. I'm sure there's a whole segment of society that hasn't listened to.
No, which brings me to my next question. Is it because the type of music, because when you talk about music for the youth right now, worldwide, it's like it moved from rock and now it's hip hop.
Exactly.
Number one.
Exactly.
Right. So with the kind of music that you guys do, maybe, I don't know, people need to understand it more.
Well, this is what we were doing. We were thinking in Firdaus as well. So that's why we had the Brahms Reinvent series.
Oh, yeah.
So, Brahms, the composer. Okay, so we did a documentary about that. It's on the Firdaus Orchestra YouTube channel. And we took a series of his compositions, and we included Arabic instrumentalists as well. So Arabic, we arranged it. There was arrangements that it would to include Arabic instrumentals. So, have a listen to it on YouTube. I think that was the thing. We wanted to kind of bring a new, new fusion, new twist into it. I'm sure the purists are like all clutching their pearls and thinking, "Oh my God, what have we?" No, but sometimes you do need to reinvent a little bit.
Yes.
And I do feel that it's very important. Otherwise, you will not get people to come in and listen. For example, maybe the Arabic audience would want to listen to it because it includes Arabic. Instrumentalists. And then they were like, oh, Brahms, let me listen to his other music as well.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot of education as well.
Yes.
And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I said early on, it took a lot of fight, because it's not something trendy, to do. So we can see you right now, if you're watching the video, that you have this amazing, obviously, cello.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it, this instrument.
Okay, so let's look at this instrument.
Yellow.
Right. This particular cello.
Okay.
Was made in Babenreuth in Germany. And shout out to my luthier, my cello maker, Wolfgang Schnabel. Made by him.
Wow.
And he, wonderful individual, very kind. And I went over.
How long you've had this for?
Couple years.
Okay.
Not before that. I had a very, very old instrument. I think it was a no-name instrument.
Okay.
And it was. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was going to say that I was shocked how light it is. Like it
is light. I mean, it's wood. It's nothing solid inside, right? So this instrument, my last instrument was made in 1890. So this instrument now is 2018. You can see it written. Although you don't really don't look at the labels when you buy something because people stick and forge things. But no, this is an actual Wolfgang Schnabel one.
You said something interesting. You said obviously it's void from inside, and there's a sound that is closest to the human being sound.
To human voice.
Human voice, sorry.
Yeah, so the human voice. So it's kind of like the timbre, etc.
Correct.
It's the sound is the closest to a human voice. So when you're, for example, when I'm playing, you also have this bow, right?
Yeah.
So And this bow is what is this? Made in the 1930s. And, Albert Nuremberg. I can't pronounce it. Sorry.
1930s. 1930s. Wow. Okay.
I mean, like this is pre-World War II.
Yeah.
I love this bow. I don't know. I lucked out when I got this one. So when you're playing, for example, like you know, let's just like do
let's go.
Rachmaninoff vocalise. So when you're starting, so if I'm playing, it's you start off very, very soft.
Okay.
You know, like in the piano, you can start off soft.
Correct.
Sotto voce. So. The good thing about this is, okay, first of all, you can hear, you can get the vibrations in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you try and tell a pianist how to vibrate. They can't vibrate. So. So when you get lower, this is like, or we get down here, bass.
Oh, wow.
Very deep.
Yeah, it just hit me. There's a lot of emotions in it, right?
Exactly. It evokes a lot of emotions, you know, and I like the darkness.
Yes.
I mean, this is a very kind of singing piece. And Lentement is quite very... it's slow as well, you know.
What's the if one would ask you, what's the biggest misconception about the cello? What would it be?
My God, that it's I don't know, like you know what? It's a big violin, and honestly, going to the airports or anyway, it's like, oh, this is a guitar.
What?
Oh yeah.
No, come on. I know that's not a guitar.
Honestly, I've heard all sorts. I'm not surprised anymore, and you know, maybe not very a big misconception, but it's more like, you know, if you go to airports, it's very like you see me with the cello and I'm like arguing with airport staff, like, you know, I've already bought a seat, guys. Okay, you know, they scratching their heads, you know, they didn't expect this, etc., etc. So
that's interesting.
I mean, misconception, big violin. It's not a violin. It's a cello, violin, cello. I
would say from the people around me, I think when we talk about generally instruments, it's there are instruments who are exciting, and there is an instrument who are not. I'm talking lingo of the streets right now. For example, when they look at the qanun, for example, it's an exciting instrument. When they look at the saxophone, when people see the cello, it's like they don't find excitement anymore with it.
Do you know what? Okay, I think it's when you get I disagree.
Yes, 100%.
Because you can make the cello exciting. We, like, for example, two cellos. You know those two, I don't know. I'm thinking they're Croatian. I'm not sure. But they used it to play Michael Jackson music, etc. And they shredded and they brought in a new generation of, kids who wanted to learn how to play the cello because of their how they played. However, I think maybe it's because when we're playing cello, we're playing classical pieces, we're playing, all of those, the string quartet-y kind of pieces.
Iconic records.
You know, the dead composers.
No.
It's the genre of dead composers. But this is something we have to do. We have to do that education. And I think more and more maybe artists are actually, for example, we have, when we were doing the Symphony of Three, we had Tina Gu, who is Hans Zimmer's personal cellist. She goes around tour with him. And she shreds that thing. You play it, you can play in a cello this is a acoustic cello.
Yeah.
Then you can have an electric cello.
Wow.
You can stand up. You can do many things with it.
So it's how you play it, I think, as well, and that's why my sister Elham Al Marzooqi, you are incredible at what you do, because you're really making us all proud, making Arabs proud, making the UAE proud. No, seriously, I say that because you didn't do it the the traditional way. I mean, this is a story of somebody who fell in love with piano, and then piano helped you, obviously, learn, get into cello, and now you're in one of the most incredible orchestras, the Al Firdaus, like arranged by A. Rahman. These things, ladies and gentlemen, we have to highlight them, and this is why we have her right here. We're going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back with Elham Al Marzooqi. 4215 if you want to text, and please go follow Elham Al Marzooqi right now on Instagram. Keep it locked right here on Pulse 95 Radio.
Catch a vibe with Big Hass, only on Pulse 95. Pulse.
Ladies and gentlemen, catch a vibe, Pulse 95 Radio. We are with Elham Al Marzooqi, incredible human being, incredible artist. Elham, we're actually listening to Al Firdaus, Symphony Number 3 in F major, and this is
by Brahms.
Yes. When you're listening to this, Elham, I want you to take me through the feelings of as a performer, as somebody who is playing part of this amazing.
This is a very, very emotional movement. Like even now, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Goosebumps.
Obviously, we practice a lot, we rehearse a lot. This is our sound, and this is a video, like what you're watching on YouTube is the video shoot. So we recorded this in our studio, the Firdaus studio.
Ladies, I just gotta say, obviously Elham's getting also emotional. I'm getting emotion because of the camaraderie, the community, the sense of it's. How many are you guys in this piece? It looks like it's 30, maybe, or something.
Maybe around that.
Yeah.
We didn't. The Arabic instrumentalists are not in there. This is part of the Reinvent series.
Yes.
And
you can watch the whole thing on YouTube, by the way. A Reinvent series featuring the work of Brahms by Firdaus Orchestra. Why does it get you emotional?
Because this piece by Brahms, it's extremely heartfelt, and it just evokes, certain keys evoke a lot of emotion behind it, and you can tell like the tension and the sadness and the heartbreak in this piece. And even like the beginning, the cellos are actually very
subtle.
The word is they're exposed.
Yeah.
So we're very exposed there.
Yeah.
So, and what I'm saying is, we're bringing this theme, the beginning theme, again. And we're very exposed, and I remember thinking, right, girls, let's just get this, because we have to record it.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, everyone quiet, cellos, girls, ladies, let's go. And the whole recording series as well. I mean, I'll tell you, everyone, I love recording, like recording sessions. However, I keep forgetting how exhausting they are.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question. How challenging? I mean, we hear the end product, but how challenging and difficult, the amount of discipline needed for something like this?
Honestly, I mean, this is, because it's also, we have Monica, our conductor, who is amazing.
Shout out to her. Big round of applause.
I love her, and she brings out each. It's just not playing. We're not just playing something. We are trying to get. It's different instruments. Talking to each other as well.
Yes.
And moving with each other. And that is what a conductor does as well. And it's an incredible job. It's extremely tiring, I feel, but it's how the different connections between one instrument and another instrument, that needs to be heard. That's how you get the end product. And these sound engineers and all of that, I mean, shout out to them. I don't know how they do their job, but it's incredible. All of that is incredible.
When you're talking again, but there's a lot of passion, and I salute you for that. What would you say? Obviously, you joined. You wanted to play the cello to be part of an orchestra. Now that you're part of an orchestra, did it really satisfy all? Like, is it really what you thought?
You know what? In the beginning, I was quite intimidated because I didn't know what to expect. You know, I was one of the originals. I started right in the beginning, like, you know, day one. And we were slowly growing and growing. And we were preparing for Expo 2020. So we were there because of Expo 2020. And we were doing concerts. I think it was pretty much once a month.
Yes.
And we were performing to big crowds and different themes. So we had, you know, Women's Day or Children's Day. And we performed it, you know, with A.R. Rahman, his songs, his music. It was just... It got, you know, sometimes I have to pinch myself and think, my God, I'm so incredibly lucky, but I need to put this out, you know, to people that are, you know, within our society. Maybe I'm an anomaly. I am not conventional. Maybe other Emirati women look at me and think, oh my God, I wish I was that. You know what? You can be.
You open the door for that.
I'd like to think that it's, you know, they can see it and they can be inspired.
Yes, and that's my point, because again, something like that is always about representation. Now, if there's a young lady listening to this or watching you or watched you on Firdaus or whatever, she'll be like, hey, I can, you know, she's Emirati, I can be like that.
And the thing is, with Firdaus, I have to point out, it's one of the first orchestras in the UAE that actually is a salaried position. So people are, you know, this is you. You make a living out of that. You make a living.
Yeah.
You make a living out of it. That's why I can call myself a professional cellist, because I can make a living out of this. You know, granted, I'm also senior legal counsel, and I manage to juggle both.
Yes.
And that juggling is something, you know, that you need to be. It sometimes doesn't work and sometimes it does work, but it also depends on the people around you.
I was actually gonna talk about that in the next segment, but since you brought it up, I think respect to you. Like, seriously, another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not easy. I can tell you it's not easy. Now, people are listening. Obviously, like you said, you're a professional, you know, musician. You're, you know, legal counsel. You're also a wife and a mom. I want you to be as realistic and honest as possible as you've been. How difficult and challenging has it been, and what's the importance of the support system you get back home?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, for example, I'll tell you, my normal days, this is just normal week.
Yeah.
You know, we're not talking about recording week or, you know, whatever. You know, let's say Monday and Wednesdays are my cello days after work. So I'd go to work, and then after work, I would drive to my work is at Yas Island in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
I'd drive the 50 minutes or hour to get to Expo City. That's where our studio is, Firdaus Studio. I'd rehearse there for 4 hours, and then I come back. So I come back around 10 p.m. and that's Mondays and Wednesdays. It's usually a 16, 17-hour day. I don't know. I guess
it's tough.
It's tough, but you get used to it. You know, and you put it into your mind that, no, this is my day. And I'm always calling in or checking in with my husband, Anthony. So he's like, okay, the kids are doing this or whatever.
No, especially shout out to Anthony and, of course, your kids. Big love and respect to them.
So they know. They're like, oh, Mom, you're going to orchestra after work? Okay, fine. You know, like...
how, obviously, at this point, what's their... You're of course their mother, and you know Anthony's wife. How do they see it? Like how proud are they?
I remember my son Jacob. They were talking about Emirati artists or Emirati musicians, and they were trying to flag something, at school. So he took one of those Abu Dhabi Festival, because I performed with them in the orchestras in Abu Dhabi Festival for 2 shows, and I was they had a profile on me, so they took that and he showed it to his teacher.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
it.
oh, okay, I guess you're proud and you're not complaining too much. So maybe I'm doing something right.
Oh, bless you. I mean. Yeah, I don't know why it gets me emotional thinking about this, because I'm sure it's tough. Like, we talk about it on the radio right here, Elham, but it's tough. You have priorities.
Yes.
I think I heard you, Tay, and we talked about this when I interviewed you about 2-3 years ago. You said the difficult part is to have the priorities done right.
Yeah. Now, look, I work in a really good as a senior legal counsel. I'm actually fortunate because I work for Ithara, and we have a great work remote policy.
Amazing.
So, for example, if your line manager allows it, July, August, we've been working from home or working anywhere in the world.
Respect. So flexible with that.
It's flexible. Plus, we get our work. So there's a lot of things that so that I can prioritize my time with my kids. So it's not as bad. However, it's exhausting because sometimes during the weekend you just want to have a lie-in, for example. And Anthony be like, you know what? Let's say on Saturday, why don't you just have a lie-in? I'll deal with the kids. I'll be with them, and then we can do something together. For example, So it is tough, but you need to have that support network.
No, yeah, of course, and we'll definitely try to get Anthony. I'm interested to talk to him for sure, and just have.
He loves to chat.
God bless him. No regrets, right?
No regrets. That's my motto. My motto is no regrets. Like, I don't want to look back at life and think, oh, I wasn't a cellist, or I didn't do the things I want to do because I felt I couldn't do it at that time. I do it. I don't want regrets. Yes, of course we've had regrets, but don't let that stop you from taking that moment. I didn't need to audition for Firdaus. I didn't need to do a lot of things. I could have had just done it for myself, but I just wanted to showcase. I wanted to be part of something.
Yeah.
And I remember we were doing Beyonce.
Yeah.
On stage. We were with Beyonce on stage. It was a week of exhaustion because it's not just turning up on stage. It's a whole routine. 1 week of that. And I actually took time off work because it was just so intense. Very, very professional team. The energy on stage that night was something I still can't get over. Still can't get over.
I mean, when you're saying it, we can get over that. I mean, this is.
You saw it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. This is just.
It was just the energy because she has her backup dancers. She has her own musicians as well, and it was just the sheer energy that you put in for a show like that. The professional things had to be completely exactly right.
Oof. And ladies and gentlemen, I think if you want to take anything from this, it's the passion, admiration, and also the discipline of these incredible musicians. We're talking about, we're talking to, for example, with Elham, we're talking to her. But imagine when you're having this orchestra, how I'm talking to the young folks. Have a sense of. I think there's a lot of learning that needs to be done, and a lot of I appreciate that art. I face this a lot with hip hop. I'm from a hip hop background, and people forget the essence of hip hop. Hip hop is not what you see on TV right now. It's really the essence of it. So we're gonna take a short break, but after that, we're gonna be right back. Still talking to the incredible Elham Al Marzooqi. She's amazing. We might get her husband on the phone just to have a bit of a conversation as well with him. Keep it locked right here. Catch a Vibe on Pulse 95 Radio. And before we go, Elham, I want to play something for Firdaus. Can you maybe tell me, something that we can play, like off the top? I see.
What do you see?
The Garden of Our Heart, the A.R. Rahman one, with there is Where the Rivers of Sound Meet, which is also incredible. That sounds amazing. I think there are. Let's say, there is the. There was the Bombay theme as well.
Oh, Bombay theme.
Yeah.
We can play that.
We can play that? Okay. We're definitely going to play a little bit of that, and we'll be right back. Keep it locked. Pulse 95 Radio.
Catch a Vibe with Big Hass. Only on Pulse. Pulse 95. Pulse.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back right here, actually, to our last segment with Elham Al Marzooqi, who is just really amazing. She is UAE's first professional female Emirati cellist. She's also the senior legal counsel, but she's also a wife and a mom. We talked about the struggle, the juggling. It gives me great pleasure, really, to welcome Elham's husband, Anthony. We're going to say hello, Anthony.
Hi, how are you, Huss?
I'm doing great. I just want to say I got so much respect for you because throughout this conversation we were talking about obviously Elham, her amazing talent, but she keeps saying that this wouldn't be possible without the support that we have home, and she obviously listening. But I wanted to ask you, how proud are you of Elham?
Oh, super proud. I'm absolutely super proud from the beginning. I mean, we're in our 11-year marriage now, so I've watched her from progressing to champion, and I've always supported it. I've always pushed her to keep going. It's just I'm just so proud of her, so proud of her and her achievement so far.
Bless you, and we're proud of her as well right now. Elham is getting a bit emotional. But since we have you on, I wanted to ask you, how is it? Like, describe a day with Elham Marzooqi when she's actually, obviously, she has a recording or because there's a lot of discipline in her performance and she really gets into it a lot, which is amazing. Describe that.
So basically, when she practices here in the house, she'll call me and go, come in and listen to this, and I'm listening, and I said, oh, it's perfect. She goes, no, this note's wrong. And I go, I'm not a musician, but it sounds absolutely perfect for me. For me, it's just like the different pieces that she does, the technicality, and the support and discipline-wise, that's all Elham. I'm just there to lean on and as a post as to does she need to be pushed a little bit more? She gets a phone call or something like that. She'll need to do this, or she's got a recording, or she's got that. I said, go for it. Go for it. And really charge her. Give her the electric charge she needs to do it. But I'm full support with her.
Yeah, and I think
I'm proud.
No, I think, like I said, it's really beautiful because throughout she has done a lot of, she's been part of amazing historic things right here in the UAE and the world. When you look back at all the achievements of Elham, kind of describe your feelings about that. Like, obviously, Beyonce, the Firdaus, her own evolution, the fact that she's opening doors for young Emirati and Arab women as well. What goes in your mind as, obviously, you're her husband and someone who's very, very close to her, throughout all these achievements? What would you say is the achievement that you're the most proud of?
I think it's just the tenacity that she has to basically, say, oh my God, I'm doing this, and playing with Beyonce is probably every fan's dream, right? And playing with Andrea Bocelli, that's another dream. It's just, one side you can say, oh, I'm a little bit jealous, I wish I could play Beyonce, but I can't play an instrument, right? So I'll put it like this. So our son goes to school here in Abu Dhabi, and they were talking about musicians, and he screamed out loud and showed on his iPad, look, this is my mummy.
Wow.
And she was showing a video of her mummy, playing with Beyonce, with Andrea Bocelli, some other concerts as well. Just a fantastic, from my side, I'm just so proud of her,
I'm proud of both of you. I'm just listening to, I'm proud of this amazing union. May God bless you guys. Seriously, and protect you. Anthony, I want to say thank you so much for jumping on and just, being part of this. She's...
No problem at all.
I can see Elham right now, and she is truly emotional. Yeah, God bless you guys. I really appreciate the time. And I just want to tell you that Elham is responsible, at least to me, of changing my perception when it comes to this type of music because of her passion. I love the word that you said. It's tenacity. So again, thank you so much, Anthony. I really appreciate you, my brother.
All right, you take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wow. How do you feel after hearing?
Yeah, it was quite emotional. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just emotional, like listening to music, hearing Anthony. I'm just like one big mess.
Oh no, bless you. No, but I mean, you at the end of the day, you're human. I'm like, yeah. Music is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it evokes. This is the thing. It's sometimes when you don't know what the words are.
Yeah.
You don't know what to say. To evoke a certain emotion, to display a certain emotion, you play the music and it's there. So music is the connecting point, I feel, bringing humans together.
Correct. Towards the end of this beautiful conversation, what would you say is Elham Al Marzooqi's dream?
Oh, I have... do you know what? Every year, the more projects I do, I look at them and I think, oh God, that was incredible. So I would love to be part of, for example, I love recording. So I would like to record, for a movie. We've already done that before.
Yes.
But to be personally credited, for example, I would love to perform with, on stage with some big acts. Let's say Coldplay. You don't know,
Oh.
Yeah. These are, but if you don't have these big things, big hopes and dreams, it gets a bit stale.
Can I ask you a bit of a difficult question?
Sure.
Right? Like, it's just a devil advocate question.
Yeah.
When it comes to orchestra,
Yes.
and again, I don't mean anything bad. I'm just telling you like how I see it. Sometimes because it's such an union effort, like it's more than one person's effort to make a sound come out. So it's hard for one person to kind of get highlighted.
Yes.
Exactly. So how does, maybe all of you guys talk about this as well, how do you get highlighted as an individual? If that makes sense?
No, I totally agree.
Okay.
But it's a very valid question. For example, normally what happens is that, so for a symphony of three,
Yeah.
right, with Ehab and, wonderful Hollywood composers as well, David Shire and John Debney. I was highlighted because I was a guest cellist with the orchestra.
Nice.
And I was highlighted and I was credited, etc. Okay, that is like, maybe not as not in quite the normal way. However, if you're doing something solo, then maybe you would probably get highlighted. Or even if you're doing, like, for example, be part of like a movie track and
Yes.
they need a solo cellist, for example, then you would get highlighted.
Is that part of, like, also part of the dream of members of the orchestra to be highlighted as well in a solo?
Do you know
way?
what? I don't know, because everyone has different
aspirations.
this is different aspirations and different goals. For me, I've always thought this, I'd like to be on set, or I'd like to be this, etc., even though it's exhausting.
It is.
It is super exhausting. So I do like that. And when I was part of the Symphony of Three, we were doing the shoot, we were doing the recording, we were doing all of that, and I was highlighted and I was credited. It felt very permanent, and it felt like, this is something that I can show my children later on, when they can fully appreciate, or my, the grandkids or whatever, So it's something very, I feel that it's quite a personal, aspiration. Of course, I'd like to do also very, very, I would like to do meaningful work, interesting work, do concerts, do different kinds of projects. And alhamdulillah, every year brings in more and more opportunities. The more I put myself forward, the more opportunities I receive. And alhamdulillah, I feel sometimes that it's always like this law of attraction. You know, you have to put the positive energy out in order to manifest all of this.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Like if you go to my music room at home, I have clippings of all of my you know, like what is on you know, interviews or newspaper clippings.
Hopefully
or
we'll take a picture right here.
Yes.
We'll add that to the list.
And I put it on the walls. I frame it. So if you go in, you're like, oh my God, this woman is a narcissist. No, it's not because of that.
No.
It's not because of that. It's because of the manifestation. The more you put in, the more you manifest.
Manifestation also tap on the back. Like, you know, you're getting that tap on the back from your family,
exactly.
obviously, but I want to give myself a tap on the back.
Tap on the back, exactly.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
then you it's a, you know, you get more abundance. I fully believe it. I don't know why.
100%.
It just works for me. And inshallah, you know, I hope that there are better things. You know, of course, there are good things now and amazing things now, but it gets better and better and better.
I can tell you that you have really sparked something in me. I'm telling you off air what it is. It's just amazing.
Amazing.
Before we let you go, obviously I want to say congrats. You're also a board member of the Emirati Musicians Association, which is really a big deal.
And vice president.
I'm vice president. Wow,
yes.
Amazing. We're going to have, of course, Ihab Darwish right here with us to talk more about that. But quickly, tell us, why is this important?
It's important because this is the first time that the UAE has a music association. You know, it's taken us a while to set this up.
Facts.
And it's affiliated, it's under the auspices of the Department of Community Development.
Big deal.
So it's a governmental effort.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had to be, as people may know, in order to set up an association, you need to have like 20 founding members who are Emirati, musicians of that field, etc., etc. And it's a very, like, Ihab can, you know, fill you in. It's been a task and a half.
I'm sure, but it's such a proud moment to have that. And we definitely can't wait to have, obviously, Ihab Darwish, hopefully in next week. Man, oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say. Towards the end, I want to say to you, Ilham, thank you, for real. Because you've really sparked, at least in me, and I'm sure the people who are listening right now, really something that I never really, I've always had. I love music, but the way you talk about, you know, the type of music that you do and your story, like it's the story of really, Anthony said it best, God bless him, there's tenacity. I come from this background as well. It's like you're tenacious, like, you know, I love it.
Very tenacious. People may say stubborn, like literally, like the stubbornness in me.
Are you a Taurus?
No, but I think I may be, no, I'm a Leo.
Leo, okay, cool.
You know, Leo, and just very, very, it's a tenacious, but it's a massive stubbornness as well. It's like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
I don't care what you say. I will do it. Yep. I don't care what people think. I couldn't care less. So it's a lot of that is driving it.
I love that. Now, if your kids listen to this, right, what would you tell them?
Jacob, go and practice.
Jacob, go practice. What? Like what? What practice? What?
He plays the cello as well.
Oh my God! We waited. What? Really?
Yes.
Oh,
he's in school. He's taken up cello.
Cello.
It's been a year and a bit. Yes. So
okay.
Go and practice.
And Amira?
Amira, she is more into art. She's more of an artist. We tried to get her into the violin. She wasn't having any of it. She's got her mom's stubbornness as well.
Oh man, it feels like obviously our time is up, but I gotta ask you this one question. Sure. You just sparked it. You said in our last interview that there seems to be more men cellists.
Yes.
Is that a fact?
It seems like the ones that you see nowadays, you know, on the circuit, there seems to be more men.
Okay.
And I think that with the Firdaus, and that's one of the things that, you know, with Firdaus, it's quite, you know, it's a difference. It's all women.
It's all women.
All women.
Love
and
that.
I believe we even have a woman sound engineer as well.
Bless.
So like literally, you know, this concept of all women, we're breaking that, you know, and it is true because if you look at like
the big names.
The big names, the orchestras around the world, most of them, are men. And even the ones that I've worked with and I've been just guest cellists, you know, with these professional big name orchestras, they're also
Why do you think so?
I'm not really sure. you know, maybe it's
Because in my opinion, like I've seen a lot of, for example, Qanun. I've seen a lot of, when I was talking, Oud is one of those instruments. I was talking to a Oud player. She's from Palestine, and she was telling me it's such a weird misconception that people think that Oud is mainly for men. But early in the days, actually women that played the Oud.
Yeah.
So
and we have some amazing, women, cellists as well, back in the day, like Jacqueline Dupré. Amazing.
Jacqueline Dupré.
Yeah, her Elgar cello concerto was it's iconic. It's what people listen to when they listen to Elgar.
Man, so. Okay. Last question, I promise. I seem like I'm over time, but I got to end with this. A.R. Rahman, obviously, and the Firdaus. This is iconic. If A.R. Rahman has the chance to listen to this, what would you tell him?
I would tell him that I am incredibly honored to be part of Firdaus and to be mentored by him, to perform his music, to record his music, and it's an incredible privilege for someone like me. I mean, I'm just, I'm not just, but it's just like, it's very, sometimes like it can be quite overwhelming. You sit back, wow, I've done this. I'm with Mr. Rahman or A.R. Rahman, and I am
pinch
playing.
Yourself moment.
Yeah, it's a pincher because we're recording Bollywood blockbusters.
Fine. Yeah.
And our name, Firdaus Orchestra, is credited on these Bollywood blockbusters. I mean, this is not a simple thing. It's not an easy thing, and it's not like something that anyone can do. For me to be part of this, it's incredible. And it's like, I don't know if the gods are, looking down and saying, yeah, we want this for you, because I never expected it, And
it's one of those things that are really just beautiful to hear your story, how you've evolved as well. Elham, I want to say thank you so much for giving us your time. Obviously, driving all the way from Abu Dhabi and being on this show. Any last words you'd like to say to anybody listening? Go ahead.
I would like to say, please do go onto my Instagram page. It's Elham Z Cellist. And also, please come and, we have our, go to Firdaus Orchestra YouTube and check out, our productions.
Any live performances soon?
At the moment, stay tuned.
Okay.
But if you go onto the website, not the website, the YouTube, please check out our Brahms Reinvent. That was our latest project. It's incredible. It's an incredible production. We're so proud of it. It's a little documentary kind of thing, and then you have a few pieces of Brahms performed by the ladies of Firdaus. So it's incredible. I really do wish, that I do wish that people can feel that emotion and tap into that emotion. It's a great release. And I feel very, very fortunate that I have this musical ability to be able to perform, the cello. And I do give credit and thanks to my mother, who started me on this journey. So.
Wow. Couldn't ask for a better ending. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, we're listening to the Reinvent series in the background. Beautiful. Shout out to every single musician in the Firdaus and everybody involved in the Firdaus. And Elham Al Marzooqi, consider me as a fan. From I swear to God. I definitely can't wait to see you perform live as well and be in the stand saying, yo, Elham Al Marzooqi! We'll be with Anthony and the kids.
It's a rock concert, yes. Yeah. Why not?
Love and blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you up in the next weeks for Catch a Vibe. I'll leave you actually with a little bit of this amazing piece. We say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Elham, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace.